This two-part tutorial series focuses on the concept of source code escrow. In this first tutorial, we will provide a general overview of the topic. The second tutorial will describe how source code escrow works in more detail and how to determine if it is required. First, let's get a firm foundation on the topic of escrow. An escrow agent is usually called upon to help two parties to a contract when they need an independent, trusted third party to perform a task or serve a role as an intermediary. Historically, the role of escrow agent has been used most commonly in the real estate industry to collect and disperse funds and process documents when real estate is bought or sold. Also, escrow agents collect tax and insurance payments from a homeowner as a mandate from a lender to ensure those expenses are paid. The escrow relationship is not much different when it comes to software source code. In essence, an independent third party is engaged by a software publisher and the software buyer or licensee to keep a copy of the source code in its custody. This is also referred to as holding the source code in escrow. The independent third party is called an escrow agent. The escrow agent is permitted to release their copy of the source code to the licensee only under specific circumstances, also known as trigger events. As covered in other tutorials, when the government licenses commercial off-the-shelf software, the government receives the object code version of that software, the same as its commercial counterparts receive. Object code can only be deciphered and understood by a computer. When licensing commercial software, the government does not receive the source code, which is the human-readable version of the software. Source code contains readily understood computer instructions and formulae for how the software functions. Anyone with a copy of the source code could easily misappropriate the software or key components of it for their own commercial benefit. Software companies protect this source code version of their software in two ways. First, by asserting and enforcing copyright protections granted by law, and second, by distributing object code instead of source code. This second method of protection physically prevents customers and competitors from gaining access to the source code. On the following chart, the spectrum of intellectual property rights is described. When we refer to commercial software, we are referring to the left-hand side of this chart where a company has developed their own proprietary software products that are licensed for use by companies and the government. This is to be distinguished from the far right-hand portion of the chart, where the government has paid a third party or an employee to develop custom software for the government. In that instance, the government should receive and own the rights to the source code in the custom-developed software. So escrow is not relevant for custom-developed software since the government takes possession of the source code upon completion of the project and may do whatever it wants with the custom source code developed for it. When licensing commercial software, the government may need access to the source code if the software company files for bankruptcy, goes out of business, or ceases to support or maintain a software product that the government relies on. Please refer to Part 2 of this tutorial series on source code escrow for more information.